Ladies, God literally loves you. He loves you. He sees you as his daughters. And the fact that God sees you as his daughters, when I was reading 2 Kings 19, God sees Zion and Jerusalem, these chosen lands that he has marked off for his people. He sees and calls them daughters. So think about that. Think about what that means and how God sees you. So I had looked it up because I was wondering, like, why does God refer to Zion and Jerusalem as daughters and not as sons? Why? So when I looked it up, it says it represents God's affectionate and nurturing relationship with his people, tenderness, protection, and care, and their dependence on God for protection, guidance, and sustenance. So let's start with the affectionate and the nurturing part. God literally has this affectionate, caring relationship, like this gentle relationship with his people. Think about how many times when in the wilderness and the children of Israel defied God and turned to other gods and turned away, and how many times every time they repented, he forgave them. Imagine if you have a father-daughter relationship, and she knocks over a cup of juice, or she does something that she knew she wasn't supposed to do. She climbs up on the countertop, and yes, he's upset with her, and yes, she will get in trouble. But every single time she asks for forgiveness, he forgives her. It's that loving, nurturing relationship. And then it says that he has this tenderness, this softness with this land, with this people, and he wants to protect it and he cares for it. And then I love the last part where it says their dependence on God for protection, guidance, and sustenance. A little girl would need her father to protect her. If a bear came crawling out of the woods, that father is going to literally fight the bear to protect his child. He wants to guide her and lead her, show her the way, show her what to do, show her what not to do. And he provides her with sustenance. He provides her with the things that she needs. God loves his daughters. And what happens when his daughter grows up? His daughter is handed over to be married to a man. And what is that man expected to do? He's expected to have an affectionate, nurturing relationship with his people, with his wife. He is expected to have a tender, protective, and caring relationship with his wife. The wife is expected to be able to depend on this man for protection, guidance, and sustenance. Women, anytime you catch yourself receiving bare minimum, accepting bare minimum from a man, I don't care if it's your daddy, your uncle, your grandpa, your cousin, your nephew, your brother, your friend, your boyfriend, your husband, I don't care who it is. Remember that God sees you as a daughter. God sees you as a daughter and loves you. He literally compares his chosen city, this holy place for his people, as a daughter. One last example. The Bible tells us that husbands are called to love their wives like Christ loves the church. Okay? And the church is literally referred to as his bride. He's coming back for his bride. Now, in this context, you don't need to get hung up on the fact that a bride is a woman, but you should be hung up on what it represents. He's coming back for his bride. And a husband does not play about his bride. Okay, so for example, it makes me think about how when Jesus went to the temple, where his people were going for sacrifices and they were going for prayer and they were going to be closer to God, the wicked people turned the church, essentially the temple, into a flea market. And Jesus was like, oh no. And he flipped the tables over and he chased those people out with whips. That is a representation of how Jesus does not play about his people. He does not play about his bride, okay? So that takes us back to that representation. Jesus is coming back for his bride in that affectionate relationship, the nurturing, the tenderness, the protection, the care, the sustenance. See how a woman is this representation? So if you ever are curious, God loves you. He does not play about you. The symbolism is everywhere. He don't play about his daughters. Now, good day and God bless.